This podcast is brought to you by Emote Projects Limited. The podcast is for educational purposes only. Seek professional advice to get specific help for your project. Enjoy this week's show.
Welcome to An Architect and a DJ Build a Home podcast.
I'm the architect.
And I'm the DJ. What are we looking at
Okay.
today?
That was better, I would say.
It was better than the first one we did
Yeah.
last episode.
Yeah.
No, we've settled. We've grown.
Okay.
We're mature now.
Since the last episode.
Yes.
Okay. We're more mature.
Distinguished. I prefer the word distinguished.
Okay.
Yes.
And today we're kind of like looking at the idea of creating a unique home, what that actually means, and so the home building journey. And I think I said it in the introduction episode.
Yes.
There's really a lot of focus on the technical side of things. Who's the builder going to be? Where will I buy cement? How much are tiles?
The fittings, just the fitting story.
Is it a flat roof?
Fittings, the fittings.
Is it this?
The fittings.
And what gets lost in that is that you are creating a home. You're creating a home, and sometimes when the technical parts take over the entire story. I think yes, and I think a lot of people are ending up with homes that don't really match the way they live. You find that they need to make extensions, they need to make changes, or you just live with something that's not quite right.
Stop and just.
Yeah, exactly. So but we believe that the focus first, when you're starting to build your home or when you're thinking about it, the focus first should really be about identifying what does a unique home, what does home look like to you?
Just what is home? What is home?
What is home? Because that's what you're trying to create. That's what you're dreaming of, and it's not. I guess. We'll go into it deeper in the show, but that's basically what we're looking at.
Yeah.
What does it mean to create a unique home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose I've been toying around with this idea that when we think about home, you have three ideas in your mind.
Yeah.
You have the home that you experienced growing up.
Yeah. And throughout your life. How you've experienced home.
Where you are right now.
Yeah.
Then you have the home where you are at the moment.
Yeah.
Because everybody's in a home of sorts.
Yeah.
And then the third one is the home that you envision.
Yeah.
To have or to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one that listeners are probably thinking about is
the home.
What is it that we want
to have?
Yeah, but we're saying that your experience of home so far actually influences what it is that you want. And thinking about it, and as we were planning the show and we were talking about it, Kalenga was actually quite
deep.
He was going quite spiritual with the home.
I had a visitation from the ancestors, from above. They spoke to me.
I was like, okay. He was taking it more seriously than
to say, okay.
That's
had to stop me.
But yeah, and I was thinking about how I viewed home, and I can't remember our childhood homes being places of comfort, like in terms of it being decorated nicely, and I don't really remember that. And we grew up in the mining town, so we were in Luansha, and then at a certain point we were in Kitwe as well. And you know how you have these like really long corridors, or like you pick a room and it's just really functional, you know what I mean? Like as long as I can sleep there, it's fine as long as in the kitchen you can cook. And
Pretty much, that's how I think for a lot of people, maybe that's, well, let me not say for a lot of people. For some people, that's not it.
Because there are a lot of people who a lot of people who they have that
Experience.
personality who like they decorate and that's not the type of home that we grew up in. It was very like functional, most of the homes. And I remember when I went onto campus, actually, when we were studying, I had my own room in fifth year. Because when you get to fifth year, you get your own room. And we were only 2 girls in our intake in terms of architecture, the architecture class. So it was guaranteed that I was getting my own room. And I was so excited about having my own space. I had a cactus there. I bought a, like a wooden sculpture, like thing from Chisokoni Market. I put it up, like I paid attention to like how it
To your
looked.
home.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about how even now with our house, I think where I'm able to place objects that I can look at that are beautiful. I think I really like that. I think I still tend towards the more functional aspects. And perhaps now the attention needs to be on like decorating and, bringing delight, making it a place where, you feel when you see, it's not just like, okay, this is where we sit.
All right now. Yeah.
So yeah, and just how would we connect those ideas to the building process? Because how do you think generally people take the building process when it comes to building homes, especially here? We're speaking specifically about here in Zambia. Yeah.
I think lots of times, not a lot of thought, not a lot of planning. Especially, I think more thought goes into what is it exactly that I want. And it's important that that happens.
Yeah.
It's important that you deliberately, and it requires time. It requires time. It requires thought. It takes something from you.
Yeah.
Because it needs something from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for you to say, okay, this is what
I'm planning. This is, like you said, this is what I want. And how do I get there?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Yeah. And I think because that's a difficult question to answer.
It's not easy.
I think people tend to rush to, and now we've got like Pinterest, we've got lots of other people who are building their homes. So it's very visual, like what other people are doing. So then the rush is, okay, I want that.
Yeah.
But then you've not really thought how does that fit in with what I like? How does that fit in with the way we live? And because it's a very personal thing, it's like only you have the answer to what your home is. So it will be either that people will rush to get ideas from the internet and say, okay, this is what I want, and then you reproduce that, or you see somebody who you look up to, or who makes decisions for you, or who is influential in your decision making, and then you want them to make the decisions for you. So it could be an aunt, a friend, a sister. Oh, how do I do this? Because you're not so sure. You're not so sure about your own ideas, and so I think it takes being brave, I think, to say, this is what I actually want. Yeah. So how would you say that we are, like, what is it that we are offering in terms of what we talk about on the podcast and the content that we put? What are we asking people to do instead? Because we're saying that that's not ideal.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people go that route, you build your home and now it's very permanent and you don't necessarily like it. But what are we saying is a better way to to approach it or think about it?
We're saying you need to plan for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we're saying is that you need to personally get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be deliberate about it. You need to take time to actually think it through.
Yeah.
Like you said, you ask yourself, what is it? What is it that I want? What is it that I like?
Yeah.
It requires an honest and real involvement,
Yeah.
which at times is not necessarily there. You said people will rush to copy something. So I want something like that. I want that. Or you get a plan off the internet, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
Absolutely nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. What we're saying is that
Before you do that.
before you do that, or as you do that, ask yourself, is this really, why do I want this?
Yeah.
Does it fit in with what I am?
Yeah.
Yes.
What my family is.
Exactly.
What we are, how
Yeah.
we relate with other people who come into our home. Will this actually work? Yeah. I think if we look at the previous episodes we've done, I think one of the people who reflects, in fact, I would say two that come out strongly. No, one.
Forget
For the
the other
past
one.
yes, for the past episode, Ruth.
Ruth, okay.
Yes, because Ruth talked about in the episode, and we'll link to it in the show notes. She talked about being really deliberate about the planning part, about thinking about your space. So if you're thinking about, say, for instance, your veranda or your lifestyle, you'll be thinking about how do we sit here? How do we sit here at any given time during the week? How do we use this space? Do we sit a lot in the kitchen? Do we gravitate towards speaking to each other? When family comes, what does the home look like? Are we the type of people who want lots of guests? If we are that type of people who entertain a lot, then what does that look like in our space? And I think if you go into those questions and actually answer them, I think you get closer into thinking about the type of home that you want. And it's not really, it doesn't matter what your home is. It doesn't matter if
it's just 2 rooms.
2 rooms, whether you're going to go
20-room mansion.
exactly.
Okay, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What's important?
Yeah. Like, does it support how it is that you live? Does it support? And of course, you should also be able to pay for it.
That would be nice.
So you're not going to do something that you can't pay for.
I mean, it's one of the things that like we were saying, you think it through. It means you look at, is it something that I can manage to do?
Yeah. But just that, I think what we're offering in the way that we would like people to join us in thinking about is just that one. It's not a quick fix.
No,
it's not a quick fix journey. And it's not like a cut and paste sort of like journey where you pick things from elsewhere and then you say, okay, this is what I want. It's really you defining what you want and then you saying that, okay, what's going to be the best way for me to do it? So even when you see ideas, you're going to interrogate them against what it is that you want. So you really do get a home that you can say, yes, this is a home. Yeah. And I like what you said. This is a place you're going to come to at the end of the day. It's a place that you're going to rest in. Like, there's meaning in it. So
this is, and I think we don't often think about it, but like, honestly, this is a place where you will live. And I say live because this is where you will spend most of your time.
Yes.
This is where you will spend your life.
Yeah.
And it should be important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you should treat it that way.
Yeah.
And that's how we view it.
And you said that I got spiritual. And I did. You know what? It wasn't like it was a real thing. Because whatever form of spirituality you believe in or you're involved in, you need to consult them as well. Pray about it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, when I say, honestly, pray about it.
Yeah.
And because it's that important.
Yeah.
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 And you should be treated as such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good place to end. So the key takeaway is really take time to figure out what it is that you want to create. Take time to really think about what does home mean to you, and that I promise you is the best starting point when you want to create your own home. Forget the trends, forget, you're creating something for you. So trends shouldn't even be in that. Just start there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be the one takeaway, please, from this show.
Favorite show.
Yeah.
All right. And to end the show, this particular episode is going to go out in the first one. The first time it goes out will be in February, which is the month of love.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the song that I have in mind that I'm trying to find out if you can figure out what the song is a song that talks about love. It's by a Zambian artist. Zambian artist. He's got two names, but usually we just refer to him using his first name. Okay. And that's a clue. His first name is a 3-letter name.
I think I know the song.
And it's a song about love, specifically talking about the heart. And that's a big clue.
I think I know it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I think about it. It's a beautiful song.
Yes, it is.
About the heart.
Yeah.
If you know what it is, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
All right?
Yeah.
And much love to you in this month of love, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Bye-bye. An Architect and a DJ Build a Home podcast has been brought to you by Emote Projects Limited. The show is hosted by Kalenga, he's the DJ, and me, Mphangela, I'm the architect. Media by Monkey Business Agency. Music by Bless the Creator.